What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, I told y'all I was going to do it. I'm coming for Roland, big fat ass. I'm coming for that big bastard. I'm coming for him. So, let me put y'all up on game. So, this big fat roly-poly ass, rotundo ass Negro over here bitching and complaining about getting paid, getting more advertising dollars from the Democratic Party. Meanwhile, this big fat ass nigga over here got paid $350K to do an interview with Kamala. You don't believe me? Look at this big look. This is why I don't trust none of them old niggas over there, because them motherfuckers are bought and paid for by these motherfuckers. This is why I don't trust them. Listen to this shit from Anton.
What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. More campaign finance records are starting to come out from the Kamala Harris campaign because we wanted to know exactly who got paid and who was basically shilling for you guys. And so as I discovered this information, and I had to put some other stuff on the back burner, as I discover this information, I'll be revealing it to you guys so you can see whether or not these people are authentic and they were really giving you their thoughts or they were being paid to do so. And then I'm also going to show you all of the stuff that was happening. So we already know that Al Sharpton was obviously a shill and he was being paid, but he wasn't the only one. And we knew that he wasn't the only one. There were more people that were being paid. So let's deep dive into it, all right? Vice President Kamala Harris, and this is according to Fox News, courtesy of the New York Times. Vice President Kamala Harris campaign reportedly gave large amounts of money to organizations run by media figures in the weeks before sitting down for interviews with them. Goes on to say, FEC filings first reported by the Washington Free Beacon show the Harris campaign gave two $250,000 donations to Reverend Al Sharpton's nonprofit organization in September and October. So that's $500,000. But we already reported on that. For those of y'all that didn't see that, you can go ahead and check that out. Look at it on the Anton Daniels channel. It's right here, all right? Let's deep dive. Harris sat down for a friendly interview with the MSNBC host on October 20th, in which he asked her what she wanted her legacy to be 50 years from now. Sharpton wasn't the only media ally that received a payment from the campaign to his organization ahead of their sit-down interview, a bombshell New York Times report revealed. Now, before we get into the person that I really want to deep dive into, and I have a feeling that you guys already know because you clicked on the video and so you know who I'm going to talk about, I want to say that this is a representation of what we don't want in the community. And so we gonna get conflicted a little bit on this, because on one hand, you're going to have people say, well, they should be pouring money into the community. They should be giving it to black media. Okay, all right, we'll explain that and we'll deep dive into that a little bit. But first of all, I do want to say, y'all were wondering why she was getting so many softball questions. Well, here's why. Because she was paying them to interview her. And so when it seemed like you were getting the real Kamala Harris, and this is authentic for some of y'all that's on the liberal side, because we already knew on the Republican side what was going on, you weren't getting anything except for what she was paying for. So this is all a finesse. But let's continue. Goes on to say the campaign also gave a $350,000 payment to New Vision Media on September 9th. According to FEC filings, New Media Vision is a media company run by journalist Roland Martin. Martin spent roughly 30 minutes interviewing Harris on his streaming platform in October. The former CNN contributor goes on to say that the payment was for advertising. Okay, so.
Advertising. So you call that softball ass interview with her that's advertising? 30 minutes to ask pre-planned questions, no hard hitters, no nothing. Softball ass questions. So soft that a kitty cat can answer them. So you pull punches on her, but give everything all the smoke, like you did at the damn NABJ at the NFBJ interview with Trump. Give all the smoke to Trump, but knowing the damn Kamala. Okay. I'm just saying equal opportunity. I'm just saying equal opportunity ass on both sides. Get that same smoke that you gave to Trump to her. That's all I'm saying. But no, Roland's too much of a alpha to say some bullshit. Yeah, he's an alpha, but he's a bitch.
Let's break this down a little bit because we're going to deep dive. Number one, Roland Martin, right, got $350,000. We already know that all of those entertainers got millions of dollars. Al Sharpton got $500,000. They went and spent over $1 billion trying to buy themselves into your hearts and into these campaigns and doing these studies and all of this stuff. So I'm conflicted. I'm a little bit conflicted, and let me tell you why. The first reason that I'm conflicted is because she basically got her people a bag. And when I say her people, I'm talking about mostly the black organizations and the Greek organizations. And so on one end, people are going to celebrate. And now you know why they got over an 80% turnout vote on the black community. You are being paid to be a part of the Democratic plantation. And you are being finessed by the people that y'all look at as leadership. So when I ran into the guy at the airport and he was sitting there telling me about Roland Martin is the voice of black people and he's authentic, I have to disagree. And now that the payments is coming out, because if you want to be a media personality from an advertising perspective, you will have to disclose that. And that's what then makes you authentic, because people then can take what you say and it can mean something. Because if he says, oh, okay, well, it was for advertising, then that's supposed to be formal, right? You're supposed to, like, I tell people, hey, this is an advertisement, but I still use the product. I love it. And I would never sell you something or tell you to get something that I wouldn't use myself. Make sure y'all tap into the Teej pack, 30%, 40% off your first order plus 20% off life. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and throw that Teej logo up there real quick. Get your Teej Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. But you know that I'm being paid to do so. So they will then come back and say, oh man, wait a minute. This is just them spending money on black media, but you were representing yourself to be authentic when it came to giving your opinion on whether or not black people should vote for Kamala Harris, not letting us know that you are also being a paid informant. And this is the reason why y'all got to be careful on who you guys follow. All money ain't good money. I call this blood money. I call this blood money because this tells you that the people that you listen to are unable to be objective. I will definitively tell you that I have not received one dime from anybody that's a part of any campaign or any special interest group or anything like that. I have not received one dime. Not that I haven't been offered, but I certainly didn't take it. You know why? Because this is similar to the PPP loans. Everybody seemed like they was balling until you could actually look up, because they didn't know that you was going to be able to look up the fact that these PPP loans was going to be public information because it was used by public tax dollars. And then you start seeing these scammers and people explode because you was able to go and look through and see who in your cities was getting PPP loans. Now, not only was it you not supposed to get the PPP loan because you was doing it illegally, but you also got exposed. And so I don't accept payments. I don't take money from nobody. And if I do get a sponsorship, you're going to know that it's a sponsorship. But then that allows for me to be able to be a credible source and objective, because it's not always about the money. What about what's best for the people? What about what's best for the community? Now I have to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, are these people just idiots or are they just being paid? Well, we know maybe it's a little bit of both, because they're being paid to shill something to you because they've been exalted by the black community as having the loudest voice in the room. And so you take their stuff as gospel, but you just spewing out what she telling you to spew out based off of the softball questions that they asking her because they don't want to disrupt the bag. I believe that your bag should be coming authentic. You should not be being paid to be selling out the community. Now, I'm honestly going to stay on top of this because I truly want to know who is selling out, who is really telling you the truth, who's giving you their authentic thoughts, and who's a credible source. Because
let me ask y'all a question before Anton finishes. And just know I'm not sponsored by anybody. So just understand that I get paid by YouTube AdSense revenue. And that's because of you guys' eyeballs. But let's have an honest conversation about this. Do you think D.L. Hughley was bought and paid for? We know Ricky Smiley was Steve Harvey, was Usher. We know Eminem was. We know Cardi was. We know Meg Thee Stallion was. We know Beyonce was. We know, I think Kelly Roland. We know she was. How many different and also is Charlemagne? Because let me just say it like this. If these people are bought and paid for by politicians, how much of their let's just say their broadcasts are credible? Let's just be honest. How much of their podcasts are credible? Can they even be trusted? That's the real question. Can any of these people that were bought and paid for, can we trust anything these people say, including the news? Because when you have people that aren't disclosing that they've been paid to provide a certain thing, can we really say that they're a credible source? Every one of these people was paid to say some of the most disrespectful shit about people. People in the comments coming after you. Are these people bought and paid for, and can they really be trusted? Now, I knew Roland was shiesty as fuck. I already knew that. We already knew his MO. But how many other people that we know is shiesty? How many of those were actually paid for? And is their credibility worth it? I don't know. I want you guys to actually answer this in the comment section. Please do.
if you say that you're rocking with them, but we just have opposing views, and that's one thing. But if you're getting paid for it and you selling your people out, that's a completely different thing. Like I said, don't tell me that it's advertising when in reality, you get in the bag to sell people out, because if it was advertising, you should have disclosed that in the beginning. We know the difference between advertising and being paid. And just because the payment goes to your media company, don't mean that you're not being paid and being finessed. And I got to give them credit, because they finessing the system more than anybody that I've seen before, and they legally finessing the system. But all of these people, all of them, have no credibility whatsoever. I think that people need to divest themselves from some of these platforms because they're not best for you. And just because you being in, if you going for entertainment, that's one thing. If you're going for information, know what you're getting yourself into. Let me say that again. If you're going for entertainment, that's one thing. If you're going to get credible sources of information and real opinions based off of what people really feel, not who they're getting paid by, then you won't have to start questioning your media sources, because just because they have their own platform or they're independent don't mean they're not getting the bag. They getting the bag from them networks, Al Sharpton and them working for these networks, and they finessing them based off of being a part of a Greek organization. But I guess that's what happens when you become a part of the boule. And I don't trust any of these people. I don't trust none of these entertainers, none of these people, because they fake, they phony, and they taking payments in order to try to sell you on being a part of the Democratic plantation, and they're not credible sources. But we got so much more coming, because I got...
Shout out to Anton. But I want to say this. Anybody that's talking about their Divine Nine or Boule or any of that, that should automatically put your feelers up as a red flag, and I'm explaining to you why. If these people are willing to say, "Oh, I'm part of this fraternity, Kappa Psi Alpha, different Greek organizations like that," and they willing to doggone prop this shit up in your face and not actually give you anything that's worth the damn about when it comes to telling you why you should vote or why you should vote for a particular candidate or just because. I believe that for those people, their credibility should be automatically voided. And that's just me, because it's like you're selling out your people because of for cash. I can see if you was making like $100,000 or something, or like almost $1 million, $2 million, maybe $100 million. But these people will sell you out for fucking $5. These some $5 ass niggas, okay? You selling motherfuckers out for $5 fucking dollars, and it's like, okay, cool. That means that like for Roland especially, he has almost 1 million something subscribers. Now that the information is coming out, all of this stuff is now going to affect him negatively, because if you really think about it, people know they can't trust you or get your honest opinion because you might be getting paid to say some falsified shit. So you taking that payment and seeing as how much they're in debt, bruh, you about to be looked at as an enemy. You'd all that shucking and jiving for a couple of coins. Now you about to lose the entire support of your community because you want to doggone sell out for a couple of coins. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, channel, support the podcast, support.com. I will catch you guys on the flip side, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.